there were a hope in the present of our ancestors that burned ablaze with an infinite inferno of wealth, joy, love, prosperity, solitude, and a crystal clear guiding light. Then that hope died when the darkness of their skin transcended to become the darkness of humanity. And if ever there were a hope in the presence of our ancestors, long after the fiery guiding light had been quenched into ashes and soot, then surely, the shiny black, muscular, mutilated men who were beaten until they coughed blood, and the women with plump round backsides, skin of pure cocoa, and hair of thick black cotton threads. Those women who were raped until their woman holes became dry wells of hopelessness. Those men and women whose blood, sweat, and ghost tears of the past that we stand upon today in this present, they would not have begun to breathe the old tired words that Africa's future is in her past. Africa had many past glories. The majesty of Kush, the glimmer and glitter of Mansa Musa and his gold, the wonder and intellect of the pyramids and what they stood for, the freshness and liberating aroma of the vast virgin forests, the natural beauty of African hair and skin and bodily form, the complex simplicity of civilizations that painted pictures of respect for man and nature. Then the foreigners came. They choked our necks, they gorged our eyes, and slashed our backs and our thighs until they'd stolen enough blood spit, blood tears, and bloody blood to splash bloody paint all over the royal painting of our majestic and very existence. If there were a foreseen bridge over Africa's troubled waters, connecting the past of empires to the present of ruins, then those men and women whose blood, sweat, and ghost tears of the past that we stand upon today in the present, they would not have begun to breathe the old, tired lie that Africa's children are her future. The foreigners controlled the present of our ancestors. Then they determined our future. And they bloodied our past into memories of past glories. How can Africa's future be found within a past that has birthed the present of the mentality that white is greater than black? The loss of identity that our brothers and sisters of the diaspora must live with like an indelible tattoo on their souls. The belief that education and the education of the colonizer is what will make us globally competitive. The dream that farming with simple hoes and fishing with small nets can bring us food security and even lead us to export agricultural produce in a galloping world economy. The hope of finding well-paying jobs and economic prestige in the land of the white man. The deception that political gains, chance, and trickery are the only roads to money, food, cars, and houses. The creed that pastors have the cure for every human ailment, struggle, and discomfort. The conviction that old women are witches who hinder African prosperity. And the conviction that young women whose wombs cannot and will not conceive children are witches too. And that they're being punished by unseen African spirit forces. The over-reliance of able young men and women on one uncle and his hard-earned land, his hard-earned money, his hard-earned fame and connections, the only ticket to be happy in this life. The understanding that women are only good for warming beds, cooking traditional meals, breeding children like farm animals, and to add prestige to a man's name. The socialization that leads women to rely on men for pesos, kobos, and shillings to buy a nice dress, some quality hair, a new body, and sanitary pads. The deception that marriage is a badge of honor, regardless of whether you're married to someone who tattoos you with a new bruise every single day that only tells you of his love-hate. Or married to someone who heals his own scars with kisses, words of confusion, and one round of passionate lovemaking that only he enjoys. How can Africa look for a future and a past that has taught us that the gentrification of our heritage buildings, our traditional foodstuffs, and our childhood walkways is the same as development and the rise of a new civilization when every high rise has a bed of cardboard beside it? Can't you see that we need to produce fashion to make a mark? Don't you know that your natural hair can be managed if we produce our own products for it? Because the colonizers' billion-dollar cosmetic industry couldn't care less. Wouldn't it be nice to own your own narrative, the African narrative in its multiplicity, showing the world a patchwork of kente, mudcloth, ashoke, ankara, kanga, sheshe, and batik? I said, if ever there were a hope in the presence of our ancestors that burned ablaze with an infinite inferno of wealth, love, prosperity, joy, solitude, and a crystal clear guiding light, then that hope, it died long ago when the darkness of their skin transcended to become the darkness of humanity. And if ever there were a hope in the presence of our ancestors, long after the fiery guiding light had been quenched into ashes of soot, then surely the African men who were beaten until they coughed blood, and the African women who were raped until their woman holes became dry wells of hopelessness, those men and women whose blood, sweat, and ghost tears of the past that we stand on today in this present, they would not have begun to breathe the old, tired life. The Africa's future is in her past. For the moment that the foreigners came and spilled our blood, because our shiny black skin made them think that our blood was black too, we lost the chance to live on past glories and the right to tell the sorry, sorry old lie. The Africa's future is in her past.